Welcome, members of the league. This is your commish, Mike Moe. I have Aubrey falling into my escape room right now. She's trying to get in here. We also have a special guest. The fifth place Midland Mastodons right there. We have a playoff weekend coming up. As Brian mentioned, I didn't feel like I should do my own game, so we're going to do a little bit of a combination here between us and see who our finalists will be this year for the happy ending. I've recommended to Douglas already that he turn over the trophy. He will not turn over the trophy thus far, so that's something we are also working on. But here's what we got going into this week. I'm going to cover the Hollywood Knights and my best friend Brandon against the Kepler Supermoons and Jason Ferguson. Initial projections, we have 155 to 147. Should be a very tight game. A big move right off the bat for Jason. He is going to be starting Aaron Rodgers this week, it looks like, against Carolina. Aaron Rodgers has not played in, 7 weeks? 8 weeks? I don't even know. Long time. Throw him right back in there. Carolina should be decent weather, at least so that should help out. Going against Matt Ryan with Brandon. Matt Ryan's going against Tampa Bay in Tampa Bay, as we all know. Matt Ryan and Atlanta in general do not perform well outdoors. The advantage they do have is at least it's warm weather. Between those two, I think we're going to have a very tight battle. What do you think?
Probably Rodgers.
Don't just going Rodgers straight up.
Yeah.
I'm actually I'm leaning that way a little bit. I think I am going to give Rodgers the win on that one. I think I am going to give that one to Jason. We're talking about just a very slight tick above. If Matt Ryan was playing at home against Tampa, I like him, but he's not. At the wide receiver position, we have A.J. Green, Keenan Allen, and Demaryius Thomas for the Kepler Supermoons against Julio Jones, Dez Bryant, and Larry Fitz over in Hollywood. Again, this one's going to also be a very close matchup. A.J. Green's going against a tough Minnesota defense, assuming he will get Xavier Rhodes, which is a big hindrance. Keenan Allen has gone absolutely nuts lately. Believe it or not, Kansas City does not play as well at home as they do away, especially offensive. But depending on where Keenan lines up, who's that? Peters over there at corner. Yep. So Allen could possibly have a tough game too. Demaryius Thomas, he has nobody throwing the ball, even though they're going against Indy. Going against Julio Jones, like I said, Tampa, not a great defense, but it's an away game for Atlanta. Still like Julio, slight advantage there. Dez Bryant against Oakland, I think he's going to have a very nice game. And Fitzgerald against Washington, they cannot guard anybody. I'm going to give the wide receivers to Brandon. What do you think?
No.
No. This is why he's fifth place.
Keenan Allen is the MVP outside of Brown. He can't be stopped. Put him in the slot. Peters won't guard him. He'll have 12 catches for 150 yards.
I'll take the under.
And 2 touchdowns.
I'll take the under there, too.
The big question mark is Thomas. If he has a week like he did last week, then I think Jason wins. If he has a week like 2 weeks ago and only gets 3 points, then...
So you're taking Jason's wide receivers over Brandon's?
Yes.
Wow.
Keenan Allen, A.J. Green.
Disagree.
Keenan Allen, A.J. Green.
We'll agree to disagree, and we're going to go to running backs. Running backs, we have Rex Burkhead and Devontae Freeman over for the Supermoons. Nice little combination. Going against Le'Veon Bell, probably be one of the top scorers this week, and Dion Lewis. So that New England-Pittsburgh game holds a lot of weight for Brandon, and actually a little bit for Kepler, too, now I'm looking at. But Dion Lewis was battling sickness last week. He still is getting a decent amount of carries, a decent amount of catches out of the backfield. I did watch the New England game, and Burkhead actually was lined up in the slot quite a bit, and they were getting him some balls actually on screen passes, too. So I think those two would be a pretty close wash, but I do like Le'Veon over Freeman, which, again, I guess I have to give the slight edge to Brandon.
With Burkhead, we got Hogan's going to be back. Gronk's back. I don't think he gets as many screen passes. Mm-hmm. Big thing is if he gets in the end zone. Yeah. That's a big deal. Bell's going to get his points regardless. Lewis probably won't get in the end zone. So if Burkhead gets in the end zone, that's going to give Jason a chance. Otherwise, it's a big lead for Brandon.
Tight end, Zach Ertz going against the Giants for the Hollywood Knights after his one-game layoff. And then we have Jack Doyle going against Denver. Denver cannot guard the tight end, believe it or not. They have one of the worst pass defenses against tight ends. So, and actually, Jacoby Brissett's not that bad. Normally, I would give this in a landslide to Ertz, but I think Doyle makes it interesting. Still, at the end of the day, I'm going to give the slight edge to Ertz. Even though Carson Wentz is out, I think they'll do Foles. We'll look for some drop downs over to Ertz, especially against the Giants defense.
Doyle will get all the targets. They have Denver has too good of quarterbacks. They're just going to feed the ball to Doyle down the middle. So with the Ertz, with Wentz out, I like Doyle here.
And at the flex, nothing to write home with these picks. Good gosh. Jeremy Maclin for Kepler going against Cleveland. Marshawn Lynch, who's been playing much better, going against Dallas. Going against Goodwin, San Francisco, and Wallace. I guess I shouldn't laugh too much. Goodwin did have a nice week last week, thanks to old Jimmy time now. Wallace, he's questionable. I think he was in and out of the game last week a little bit, if I remember right, but I think he's going to be okay. Yep, expects to play. He's fine, even though he hasn't practiced the last few days. I'm still going to give this one to Jason, though, just strictly because of Marshawn Lynch and how well he's played. I think he gets in the end zone against Dallas. Dallas has not played well. I do think Goodwin gets his catches, his targets, and Maclin and Wallace. I mean, unless Wallace gets a bomb, it's probably pretty much a wash too. But I'm going to give that edge over to Jason.
Yeah, Maclin hasn't really played well lately. I like Wallace better in that matchup. I think Wallace might get, against Cleveland, might get behind their secondary. Goodwin has been playing well lately. Jimmy Garoppolo is going to feed him the ball. I like Brandon here.
And I do have to go over kickers here, just because it's playoffs. I think Prater outscores Walsh. Walsh stinks. Walsh has costed a championship in another dynasty, or not championship, but the rights to a possible championship. And Prater, he's going against Chicago. Chicago has a decent defense. It's at home. It's at home. So I'm going Prater here.
Yeah, I agree. Bears defense is bend but not break, so I think they'll get lots of field goals.
So overall breakdown, I think Doug, based on his breakdown, is taking Kepler.
Well, he beat me twice, so he better win. That's all I have to say.
He's going to take Kepler. Brandon, what do you want me to do here? I'm taking Kepler, too. I'm taking Kepler in the upset. We both picked Jason to upset Brandon. Brandon, no respect. # no respect, so, for you. And then Doug's going to do most of my game. If I feel like I want to talk, I'll talk. Eric, this is for you, too. I am favored by 31, 163 to 132. As of right now, I might switch out a couple players still. Amari's not playing. Thinking about putting Emmanuel in just because I want to watch him tonight, but that's it. Otherwise, not interested.
This game's going to come down Seattle. Who gets the touchdowns? Mike has Wilson. Eric is starting both Lockett and Baldwin. So, depending...
Wilson's running them all in.
I think, depending if Wilson's going to run or, what happens with that. I think that's a big factor here. Quarterbacks, I think I like Prescott here. Out of the two.
Mind you, Russell Wilson was the number one scorer this year in fantasy football. Go ahead and look at his last few weeks. 27, 30, 27, 34, 43. That's a lot of points.
Rams have a decent defense. Donald will get after Wilson. But they also put up a lot of points. So Seattle will be throwing the ball probably as well. Receivers, Sanu, Brown, Landry.
Sanu, what happened to Sanu here?
Well, Brown is Brown.
Oh, he's fine.
You need to move that little screen here.
I was just seeing what was going on with Sanu.
Nelson, though, gets a big lift here from Rodgers being back. Nelson could get 2 touchdowns. So that's very possible. I like Nelson coming back. Probably still have to go with Mike's receivers, though.
Landry's been a PPR machine.
Just with Brown, he's the best in the business. Juju Smith-Schuster, maybe he'll have a good game coming back. Maybe a chip on his shoulder. We'll see.
Ooh, added hamstring issue for Smith-Schuster.
Fresh legs, he's okay.
No, this just happened today. Literally today. He's not playing, I bet.
I can't see.
I bet you he's not playing, Eric. Take him out. You don't want to do that.
Well, I can't see the roster here.
I don't know what's happening. There.
McCoy, Hyde, Gurley, Collins.
Ooh, my running backs are good.
I think Collins actually has a big game. I think Baltimore gets up early, and they do a lot of running against Cleveland. So I think he'll have a good amount of yards. Gurley against Seattle. I still think that'll be a shootout. So, I expect
Gurley 2 touchdowns for Gurley
to possibly get a touchdown.
2.
The 49ers' offense does look better. So Hyde could very much get in the end zone. That would help. And then McCoy, he's had a great year.
Miami,
whoever traded him, I'm not really sure. So
how did I get McCoy?
Probably Mike's running backs, but I think Collins has a big game. We got Rudolph and Gronk.
Gronk.
I think Pittsburgh tries to take away New England's best asset, and that is Gronk. So
he's well rested.
I think he gets double teamed.
Coming off suspension.
And I think Brady's going to move the ball elsewhere.
To Hogan? Don't worry, got it covered.
Maybe. I think hopefully Cooks has a big game. Oh, wait, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter for you.
Randolph, Cincinnati stinks.
Cincinnati's good best team.
They do. Minnesota is throwing the ball a lot to the receivers. Maybe Randolph gets in the end zone. That would definitely help. Then you got Hogan and Williams against Lockett and Gore.
Williams was a stud. Best draft pick.
I think Green Bay has a good offense with Rodgers back. I don't think he gets in the end zone, though, because Rodgers checks out of all the runs because he wants all the touchdowns.
Look at me, Aaron Rodgers.
I had Eddie Lacy,
Look
and
at me.
He never scored. Then Hogan had a terrible week last week.
Played 92% of the downs.
I think he comes back with a better game. I don't know. There's a lot of weapons there, so I don't know if he'll get his 14 or not. Lockett, he's always a question mark. Boomer bust. I think Gore will get his 10 points.
I think, Gore had 30-something carries last week. They're talking about resting him a little bit more. Do you think Eric's playing Lockett just because I have Wilson in? Like a Wilson. You put in Tyrell. Where's Tyrell at?
Who knows? Maybe he'll put Tyrell in. I haven't watched a lot of Seattle this year. I don't know. I think he put Lockett in because you have Wilson. So just in case Wilson has a big game.
Maybe I'll put in Mariota.
Go ahead.
San Francisco.
They stink.
So San Francisco.
And then you got your kickers. Eric has his best player as a kicker, so I give the edge to Eric there. But are they in Seattle?
At Seattle. Rainy, windy,
so a little
cold.
tougher, but they will kick a lot of field goals. So, you know what? Mike has the better team.
You just scroll up. It's a Mac.
It needs to be a touchscreen. Mike has a better team. I think Collins has a big game. I think Nelson has a big game. I think Prescott has a big game. Eric, upset. It's going to happen.
I'll bet.
It's going to happen.
I will bet anything.
I think Wilson doesn't run the ball in. I don't think Gurley scores.
I will
Sanu's
be
not
willing to
score.
place anything on that.
Go,
anything.
Eric, go. 29%.
Don't ever say go, Eric, go either. I just bet Douglas a large order of Buffalo Wild Wings that will not happen.
He owes me 2 wings.
But that will not happen. So anyways, guys, there's your week preview. Lasts about 15 minutes. I guess we're in the consolation bracket right now. I don't care about that.
Going down, Brian.
5th place game. We got the Mastodons and the Brewers. We'll call them the LeBrons of the league, the choke artists. Until next time, guys, enjoy the games this weekend. Jason, looking forward to seeing you next week since I picked you. Yeah, Brandon, that's a call out. And see you on the flip side. Peace.